Hello and welcome. This is The Truth About News. I'm your host, Keith Lander, coming to you from Dayton, Ohio, the Gem City, as it's once called. And if you haven't visited Dayton, Ohio in a long time, if you're passing through, stop through Dayton and just see what we got. Just check us out. But in the news today, and we all know, Donald Trump and his administration has bombed Iran. Now, the reasons Donald Trump and his administration say they bombed Iran is completely a lie. And on this show, we will go through the lie and disprove what Donald Trump and his administration are claiming the reasons they went to bomb Iran. Now, Donald Trump made the claim it was in his opinion that Iran was going to attack first. And this is what he said. They were going to attack if we didn't do it. But the Pentagon briefers told Congress March the 1st in a classified briefing that there was no intelligence that suggests Iran was planning to attack American forces. Now, who you gonna believe? The Pentagon, March the 1st, had a classified briefing to Congress, and they told Congress there was no intelligence that Iran was threatening to attack the military or the U.S. All right? So that's a lie. All right? That's a big lie, because Donald Trump don't know what the hell he's talking about. Also, what happens is that now this is coming from a guy named Jim Jones, who's a Vietnam combat veteran. All right. He said we can bomb the daylights out of Iran all day, every day, but we cannot force its surrender. Iraq is a good case in point. Now, remember, he said Iraq because y'all remember when George Bush, Colin Powell, Condoleezza Rice, and the rest of the folks in the Bush administration, they was going to attack Iraq and Saddam Hussein, and they said that Iraq had weapons of mass destruction. You had Colin Powell at the UN. He had these drawings and all that kind of nonsense. Y'all remember all that? And when it's all said and done, Iraq did not have weapons of mass destruction. And all those soldiers lost their lives over there in that desert because George Bush lied. Now, fast forward, here we are, Donald Trump. He's repeating a different lie, but we may see the same outcome of dead. We already had some dead soldiers already died in this nonsense. And for what? I'm going to move on, folks. Look here. One of the things you got to believe is that you cannot win a war from air only. You can bomb them, you can bomb. You cannot win a war that way. You have to put soldiers on the ground. And they like to say boots on the ground. I don't like that phrase. Soldiers. These are human beings. This is not a game. This is real life. Now, they even questioned the Trump administration. Will you put soldiers or boots on the ground? They have yet to answer. Because you know why? Because you cannot win, or you cannot make a country surrender by just propelling missiles at them. All right? Keep that in mind. Matter of fact, they also said, Trump and his team, they also said that Iran was 2 weeks from producing a nuclear weapon. How many times have we heard that before? Benjamin Netanyahu, who's Israel prime minister, has been stating that Iran was within a month, within a day, within a year of getting a nuclear weapon. He done said this for 25 years, Benjamin Netanyahu. He done said it for 25 years that Iran was real close to getting a nuclear weapon. And they're not, folks. That's the same rhetoric that Donald Trump and his administration is spitting out now. They're not closer to getting a nuclear weapon than they were 25 years, 30 years ago. You know what I mean? So that's another lie. Now, let me say this about this. They shot off these missiles, the United States did, into Iran. And one of the missiles hit a school a girls' school, which killed, I think it was estimated, about 175 people. Most of those are the girls that was at the school. It was a Tomahawk missile. Donald Trump and his gang said that the Tomahawk missiles, that Iran had shot the Tomahawk missile at the school and blew the school up. Well, folks, look, here's the facts. Now, the facts is that there's never been any indication that Iran has Tomahawk weapons, those bombs. Those bombs are made by the U.S. defense manufacturer Raytheon for the U.S. military. Now, there's only, there's only 4 countries that have these weapons: the United Kingdom, Australia, Japan, the Netherlands. Israel don't even have those Tomahawk missiles. All right. And this was said by a Jeffrey Lewis, who is distinguished scholar of global security at Middleburg College. And he said Iran definitely does not, he repeat, does not have Tomahawks. So the idea that Iran shot that Tomahawk missile at that school and killed those people in that school, including those girls, is a lie. So Donald Trump and his administration is lying again, because Iran, put it this way, even if Iran did have one of those missiles, they don't have the capabilities or the launch pad to even launch the thing, right? Because our intelligence keeps track. Why do you think we got bases all around in that region? That's to keep an eye on these countries to see what weapons and stuff they're buying. We ain't guessing at it. Our intelligence are much sharper than that. Now, let me say this. The Iranian government and the people who overrule Iran, I don't give a damn about them. All right? But the citizens in Iraq and Iran, they're victims of that government. And so the bottom line is, even if you kill everybody in the government, they're going to still prop somebody up to continue to work, whatever Iran is trying to do. The United States, our position is, we have to keep a close eye on these countries who wants to harm the United States. And that's what we've been doing up until the point where Donald Trump wanted to shoot missiles into Iran for, I guess, grandstanding reason. I have no idea. Matter of fact, U.S. Army retired General Barry McCaffrey also said that when Donald Trump made the claim about Iran shooting a missile at the school, he said, that's astonishing, bad, let me put my glasses on, astonishing, bald-faced lying. That's what he said. And it's childish. That's what U.S. Army General Barry McCaffrey said. So, folks, look. And then when the missiles hit the school, the Trump administration, they could have came out and said, look, we shot a lot of missiles and some of those missiles go astray. You know what I mean? And we apologize, and it wasn't done intentionally. They didn't have the common courtesy or the decency to even do that. You know who did that? Senator John Kennedy out of Louisiana, and he's a Republican, and I hardly ever agree with anything John Kennedy come out of his mouth, I can tell you that. But he did say, John Kennedy, he said on the CNN Casey Hunt show, he said, I think it was terrible. It was a terrible mistake. He continued, the investigation may prove me wrong. I hope so. These kids are still dead, but I think it was a horrible, horrible mistake. I wish it hadn't happened. I'm sorry it happened. I can assure you it wasn't intentional. Now, Senator Kennedy is speaking like a man who understands life, innocent life. Because those people over there in that building, at that school, they probably don't like the Iranian government either. You know what I mean? And so the fact that Donald Trump says he's going to liberate these people, you're going to liberate the people by killing all of them? I guess you will be liberated if you kill them all. But I tell you what, you can't kill them all. I can tell you that. They tried that with Iraq. It didn't work then. It's not going to work now. I can tell you. So let me move on, folks. Let me move on. Here's an article. A guy named Joe Kent is his name. Now, Joe Kent, he was a top-ranking intelligence officer on the Trump team. He just resigned. And in his letter that he expressed and he posted on social media, Kent said Iran did not pose a serious threat to the United States. That's what he said. Did not. This man is inside the rooms, in the intelligence. He's watching everything. And he said they did not pose that threat. Let me move on. He said, I cannot in good conscience support the ongoing war in Iran. Kent's statement. He said, Iran posed no imminent threat to our nation. And it is clear that we started this war due to pressure from Israel and its powerful American lobby. Now, this man, Mr. Kent, Joe Kent, lost his wife to a ISIS roadside bomb over in the Middle East. Mr. Kent has a conscience. He understands that the consequences behind what Donald Trump has done. All right. So, folks, who are you going to believe? A veteran like Joe Kent? And, people say, well, who is this Joe Kent guy anyway? Well, let me tell you what he is. He enlisted in the Army in 18. He started as an infantryman, joining the Rangers regiment, and then the Special Forces, also known as the Green Beret. He also served on a political action committee. Of the website says that Mr. Kent volunteered every opportunity to serve in combat after 9/11. Mr. Kent also received a Bronze Star during his service. And then after retiring from the Army in 2018, he serves as a parliamentary officer in the CIA Special Activities Center, and also served as the Chief of Staff to the Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, in early 2025. So, this man knows intelligence, knows it well, knows it better than anybody that's up there talking about Iran was a threat. I'm telling you, people, Donald Trump lies are getting people killed. And y'all can applaud it all you want. I'm not sympathetic with the Iranian government. I don't like them either for what they do to their people. But I also don't like the fact if the Iranian government, as Donald Trump said, is killing their people, and then Donald Trump is killing their people, what's the difference? Huh? Somebody tell me the difference. Because this thing is out of control. The lying machine that Donald Trump has started, and the rest of those folks just step in line with him, is dangerous, extremely dangerous. That's why we have to vote these people out of office whenever we get an opportunity to do so. And one more thing I want to leave you with is this. They talk about this SAVE Act. You know what I mean? Everybody's talking about this SAVE Act. So it's a voter suppression bill, basically what it is. It's a Safeguard America's Voter Eligibility Act. And what this thing does is that you have to have, when you go and register or vote or go vote, they want you to have a passport, a birth certificate, a certified birth certificate with your name on it, and they want you to have an ID that you have to pay for. Not your ID you got in your pocket now. That ain't gonna work. You have to have a special ID. What this does, folks, is that in order to have a passport, it takes you almost 3 to 4 weeks to even get a passport, and it costs you in some places $150 to get a passport, right? So most people ain't got that. And they want you to have this ID card. I don't know where the heck you get this ID card that they talking about. And the birth certificate, if you're a woman and you got married, then the name on that birth certificate is going to be different than what your name is now on your regular ID. So now you got to go through the steps. You got to change your birth certificate around. And by the time you try to do all that, the voting is over. So basically what the Republican Party has done with the SAVE Act is they trying to save their own raggedy behind because they're losing in these elections. And so they're trying to prevent folks from voting. And John Husted, that Marino, I can't pronounce his first, whoever, I can't think of his first name, and also Mike Turner, they're all in favor and voted for this SAVE Act. So folks here in Ohio, Marino, Bernie Marino, John Husted, and Mike Turner, they all voted to try to prevent people from voting because they know they have a possibility of losing their seat. So they're trying to limit the number of people that get to the polls. That's all this is. Voter suppression on steroids. And hopefully this thing be voted down. All right, they already passed the House, going to the Senate. Hopefully this thing is voted down, folks. I'm telling you, get to the polls, get to all your special elections, get to the polls in November. Vote these people out of office. John Husted, vote him out of office. Mike Turner, surely vote him out of office. And that Bernie Moreno, vote him out of office. Send him back to his car dealership where he wouldn't want to pay people overtime. Moreno had a car dealership, I think it's down in Cincinnati or some damn where. He didn't want to pay these people, the employees overtime. And they sued them and they won. So what kind of public service is that? Huh? And then John Husted got the nerve to say, people in poverty don't know the real world. Come on, man. Come on. And I don't know where the heck Mike Turner is. He probably over kissing Donald Trump's behind on his knees. Get off your knees, Mike Turner. Get off your knees and do something for the people. You know what I mean? So, with that in mind, folks, I'm going to tell you, if you don't vote now, you need your head examined. And if you still on that Trump train, this thing is going down, folks. Donald Trump is 79 years old. He ain't going to live forever. And the way he's talking, he may, and there's been people who said, I'm not diagnosing the man, look like the man has some form of either dementia or Alzheimer's, because he don't know what he's talking about half the time. And for all these people who supporting him, all these people in Congress, Tishy Gabbard, all them folk, Cash Patel, all them folks, it'll be the day when your subpoena come and you will have the answer in a court of law. And when that comes, I hope we send you to the brig. So, with that in mind, folks, may God bless you and your family.